Well, if you look at the history of Wisconsin producing running backs, they do a really good job. I mean, this is an incredible list of names, and there are 2 4-star running backs this year that join the likes of Jonathan Taylor and Melvin Gordon, Dylan Jones, and Darrion Dupree. We are happy to welcome one of them, Darrion Dupree, into our studios right now here on signing day. Congratulations on committing to be a Badger. What made you pick that school?
Really just when I came down for OV, it was just like the brotherhood at my school, and it's like I felt the connections. So yeah, that's why I really picked it. And like the tradition and the running back. So yeah, that's why I picked the school. Yeah.
And then you stayed with it. You got some offers afterwards, including one from Alabama. What went into you staying with your word even after those schools came at you?
I mean, I had a conversation with Braylon and Chaz, and it was really like they just got developed in like their first 3 months. And I just know if I stay there for like how long, however many years, I'm gonna be there 3, 4. I know I'm gonna be an excellent running back for the next level. Yeah.
Tell the Badger fans about your skill set. What are some of the things you do really well?
I can really do it all. I'm not gonna say it like that. I can really do it all.
You just did.
You just did twice.
That's okay.
You can. This is the day where you get to talk about yourself.
I mean, I can catch. I got speed. I need to work on it more. One cut and go. I call myself like a catfish. Like I might look like I'm little, but like I'm really bad for real. Like, I don't like get down.
I'm gonna fight. Yeah. You're not gonna be able to just drag you down.
Yeah.
What have they told you about how they're gonna use your talents?
Really like Chaz. Like Chaz, they'll use my abilities. Like Chaz, how to use in Chaz. Yeah.
Tell me what it was like meeting Luke Fickell and what the relationship's like now.
I kind of met him back when he was with Cincinnati, so like I've been had the connections with him. He's a great coach, similar like Coach Lynch at my school, so that like I really like that. So like yeah.
Madison, known as a great college town. Camp Randall, known as a great place to play. Can you describe being there and being at a game and thinking, I get to play in this someday?
Well, I came down to a game, Buffalo game, and it was like the fans were amazing. Like fourth quarter when we jump up, like I love that. Like it's an amazing experience.
What do you want your first semester to be like?
Really just concentrating, like taking one step at a time, like school, then going to practice, like doing everything that I need to do.
Tell everybody what high school you played at.
Mount Carmel High School.
That is an all-time historic high school. What was it like playing there, knowing some of the talented dudes who used to put on the helmet?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that school. Really, like the brotherhood there, playing as a fist. Like we don't play open hands, we play with a fist. I learned a lot coming from that school.
What was this senior season like? You guys had such a great year. What was it like for that to be your final journey?
I really had a great experience from my senior year. I passed my goal, I say, because last year I didn't play in the state game, but we still won. But like this year, like my goal was to like win state playing with the team, and that we got that done and getting over 1,000 yards.
Were you more nervous to play in the state title game or more nervous to do this?
More nervous in the state game.
There you
That's
go.
the right answer.
We showed a list of some of the great running backs. Before we let you go, if you had to pick one of the greats at Wisconsin that you'd love to be having a career like, who would it be?
Melvin Gordon.
That's a good one.
Gordon, yeah, for sure.
All right.
That's a good one. Darrion
You should have
Dupree.
said James White. We could have introduced you real quick.
That's true.
But that's okay. We'll get you Gordon too.
Not so much. Not so much. Hey, Darrion, congratulations on being a Badger. Thanks for giving us some of your time, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Here's a look at the incoming Wisconsin class, at least some of the names that you need to know. Ernest Willard Jr., defensive lineman, is one of the latest additions to join this crew. They have more 4-star players in this group than they had the last 2 years combined. It is a very good group heading to Madison, and they have a great transfer group as well. Luke Fickell's the man who's bringing all those guys in, and he's joining us now. Second class at Wisconsin, but the first full year to get one ready. How different does this signing day feel compared to 365 days ago?
Well, you definitely know these guys a lot better. The relationship over the last year and a half is definitely different. But I also think last year was 11 guys, and this year I think there's 22. So for us and what we want to do in the program and how we want to build, this feels completely different, and we're really excited about it.
You dipped in the portal to get a quarterback from Miami, Tyler Van Dyke. What made you want him?
I think he fit a lot of the things that we were looking for. Obviously, we wanted a guy that was legitimately going to come in and want to compete, but also somebody that you had a little bit better idea of who they were. And Coach Longo playing against him and knowing some of that, face to face, it's very similar to what I kind of knew about Tanner Mordecai from this past year of actually playing against him and preparing for him. So there's a lot of things to like about Tyler. His experience is one, but I think when he came here on campus to actually get to sit down, meet his family, get a chance to spend some time with him a little bit more, there's some things that are deep down inside that he still wants to be able to do, and that really excites me.
There's a 6'5" tall quarterback named Mabry Matoyer who's going to be a Badger. Why?
Well, I think it starts with relationships, and it started a while ago, obviously, with Coach Longo, and they've had a relationship. But he actually had visited here a few other times, even before we got here. So there was a unique connection for him and his ability to leave, obviously, Texas and get out and see what was best for him. But for me, as I got to know him, the things that I believe in, and again, quarterback is the multiplier, is the most important position we know on your team. But there's some uniqueness about what, to me, not only makes a great quarterback, but makes a great leader. And he's kind of made up of that. Starting off as an offensive lineman, he's got a humble side to him. He understands, where the game is won, even though most all quarterbacks believe it's won in their hands, when in reality it's won up front or starts up front for sure.
We just had in one of your incoming running backs, Darrion Dupree. You combine him with Dylan Jones. These are two guys who look like they could be scary in years to come.
Really different skill sets, similar in a lot of ways, but unique in the skill sets walking in the door of what young guys can do, as they continue to grow and learn. But I think that those guys in particular, Darrion, who you just talked to, his ability to play out of the backfield, to catch balls, his ball skills in space, he has a really unique, opportunity walking in the door here that he does some things different than anybody else we have. And then Dylan Jones, I think, is a guy that is going to be a difference maker. I think that he's just scratching the surface as well. He's going to get bigger. I mean, he has got a stride. He does kind of remind me of just, kind of thinking back to a Melvin Gordon. I know Dylan said that, or Darrion said that was his guy. I might compare him a little bit more to Jonathan Taylor-ish, but Dylan kind of reminds me a little bit of Melvin, just with his ability to stride and run. And I think they're going to be a heck of a combination, the two of those guys.
You got a couple elite offensive line prospects. Haywood and Mandel stand out. But I'm curious, what is it like recruiting to that position at the school you're at, which has such an incredible history there?
Well, I think that's what we try to make sure that we're living up to. And the beautiful thing is you kind of tell guys the standard here, and it's a standard that's probably unreachable, right, of the Joe Thomas. But that's the standard. And guys that shy away and don't want that and don't want to embrace that and understand how difficult that is probably don't feel comfortable here. And these guys, there's a bunch of them that kind of embrace that, and knowing that, is that really something that's attainable? Well, that's what the standard is and how you do things. So that's what excites me about it, is we didn't shy away from saying, hey, you're going to be able to walk in here and you're going to be able to play. No, you're going to walk in here, there's going to be 4 returning starting offensive linemen. You're going to go in there, you're going to compete with those guys, you're going to battle with those guys, you're going to learn from those guys. And we're going to have a standard that if the guys that walk on that field, they got to live up to. And it's really great when you got that in Joe Thomas and you got that guy who's around, but also those older guys and Jack Nelson and Riley Mallman and some of these guys are embodying and embracing that. So they're going to be a great example to some of these young guys.
Luke, congratulations on this class. Your reward, taking a nice deep breath and then going to play LSU in a bowl game in Tampa.
Yeah, that keeps you kind of focused, let's just say. So we take a couple deep breaths today as we sign a class and continue to work on the others. But don't forget in about 12 days that there's a even larger challenge in front of us. And but we're excited about that.
We look forward to watching you. Have a great holiday, Luke. Thanks for your time, man.
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I mentioned the transfers that are coming into Wisconsin. Here's a look at some of the big names that they have got, and it's pretty clear, Howard. Generally speaking, most seem to agree they've got the best crop of transfers coming into the Big Ten this season.
And I think one of the things that's really important when you're building a team, that you're building a team and you're with people who want to compete, who want to go out and compete. And a guy like Van Dyke understands that. That's why he decided to come, because there are quarterbacks in the room, so he's going to have to be able to compete for that position. But he did an outstanding job of throwing some of the deep balls, finding wide open receivers, understanding what he needed to do with the football, and being able to read defenses. And sure, things didn't work out perfectly for him at Miami, but I think when you get a second opportunity to go out and do things, it's very important and you can take advantage of it. Xavier Lucas, I think is a very, very interesting prospect for them, particularly at the safety position. He can do a lot of things. And you talk about playing in this defense, it's an opportunity for a young man to make a lot of plays. He wants to be physical. You see the athleticism there, just being able to take the ball away out of the air, which is a big-time play. And Jones, he talked about him, long strider, physical. And what we're seeing, and we're seeing programs do this, where one guy may be out of the backfield, can do more things. Another guy might be in between the tackles. They're bringing him in the same class and being able to do that. Love the fact that he is already adept at being able to pick up the blitz, something that young players really struggle with at times, but he's willing to take on that contact. Going to be an outstanding player for him.
Another outstanding back. We had him in the studio, Darrion Dupree. Didn't want to talk about himself too much, so I'll do it for him. Really, really outstanding player. He mentioned the versatility. He can really catch the ball out of the backfield. They line him up out wide at times, line him up in the slot. I watched him take one to the house from that position. I think he's going to be multiple, but he can run the ball from the backfield. He can run the ball between the tackles. He can do a little bit of everything, and that's why I think he fits so well. There's almost not a situation they can't put him in, and he had an outstanding senior year. Dylan Johnson was committed to Northwestern. Wisconsin was able to flip his commitment. Think about him. He's an extremely high-level wrestler, which you love to see out of your defensive lineman. I mean, he's going to wrestle in college. He's one of the best in the country, but as an interior defensive lineman, extremely disruptive, very strong, plays with great leverage, and comes from a football family. Emerson Mandel, I know the Badgers and their fans love to go over to Minnesota and win a recruiting battle, and they did that here with Emerson Mandel, a really, really good athlete, has played some tackle, has had a chance to, but I think will end up playing inside for them, and he's lined up all over the offensive line. Very fluid, very physical. Love his approach to the game. I think he's going to fit right in. We raised him up to 4 stars late in the process. He's a future star.
Anelu Lafayette is one of my favorite players I watched throughout this whole process. And you want to talk about fit. Have you guys heard of TJ Watt?
I've heard of him.
Edge rusher from Wisconsin. Hey, he might be next. First step burst is critical when you want to be an elite pass rusher.
No pressure.
Well, he's got it. Violent at the point of attack. Accelerates through the quarterback. He terrorized offensive linemen back in high school. And I really think he can play. At times it looked like he was playing at a different speed. No pressure.
No pressure.
Carve your own path.
No pressure.
But I like the tape.
We've got the
I like
next
the tape.
TJ Watt and Melvin Gordon in the
Yes.
same class.
Love
so no
it.
pressure. Yeah.
It seems really easy when we just put it out there like that. They're going to be just as good as those all-time great Badgers. Our